Yo, what's up? Welcome to my evidence page. They thought that they were watching moi and some of y'all, moi and toi, right? Me and you. But then, how do you say? And I should know this. I took French for like half a second in the eighth and ninth grade, I think. I don't know. I don't know. Moi, toi. How would you say? I don't know. Um, I know people that would know, but I definitely don't know. Yeah, so they thought that they were gonna go through my YouTube page and collect all this evidence and bring a case against me, and they still might, but this is my evidence page, right? Where I log all the shit, my little diary of all the accounts of things that happened, so I can go back and reference things over time if I need to in case the old memory trap fails. It's all documented. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to the feds who are watching right now. You should be arresting and investigating all of Epstein's client list and Rob McGuckin and Ram Blazer and everyone that I told you to investigate, like Lockheed Martin, all the energy weapons. I wasn't the only person that told you, pointed you in the right direction, but you spent all your time covering up the worst crimes against humanity so that you could collect a paycheck and possibly be part of an organization that, I don't know, worships Satan. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to the feds. Um, for the people who are in the family court, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience. I'm a first-time father, which means, as a rite of passage, for a lot of us apparently, you get to go through the family courts. Oh, what fun that is! I started my case back in like June was the initial filing. Our first appearance was in October of 2024. Anyone tell me the date today? It's fucking May 2026, almost June, right? So I've been in the lower courts, and I still am for a year and a half with no appropriate schedule to see my son. So I'm a first-time father, and my son's growing up. I don't get this time back. We don't get to go backwards in time and have this time together, right? That's probably one of the most obvious fucking statements a person can make, but it's true. So no one can return. We can't be made whole again. My son and I cannot be made whole again. We don't get a redo at his life, right? So all that time was taken away from us unjustly, right? No findings of fact. There's no one who could ever say that it would ever be in my son's best interest not to be with me for half a year or whatever, or that this schedule was ever appropriate. It wasn't. It was a deprivation of his rights the entire time, right? So, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what I'm doing. Um, I do believe that all of this is wrong, so I'm standing on what's right, right? The Constitution, our 14th Amendment. Um, we have a right to due process, and parents have a right to raise their children. Uh, we have a right to life, liberty, and property, and no state shall infringe upon that. Um, but they have in fact done exactly that, and anyone who's going through the family courts has a similar story. So I'm hoping that we can all come together and use our voices to shut them down, because our most powerful weapon is our mind and our voice. Um, that is the most powerful weapon that we have, is to stand on our rights. So I am appealing, right? Had to go through and read the MRAP 20, the Massachusetts Rules of Appellate Procedure. That's what MRAP stands for. Massachusetts Rules of Appellate Procedure 20 is the specific rule that we're supposed to follow for our submissions for this specific type of appeal, which is an interlocutory appeal, which is an appeal on a temporary order. Um, Normally, people don't appeal pre-trial right before final judgment, but my court case, my trial date isn't until September, and the mother's not allowing me to see my son unless there's a supervised visit, right? She wants me to have supervised visits because I've been the only person in this matter to advocate for my son's rights and safety, right? All the red flags I reported, every time I go to the police and I report something that's extreme, um, she tries to keep me away from my son, and the court just goes along with it. Uh, the court's best findings against me, right, are that I talk about conspiracies online, and the judge said that I sent nasty emails to the lawyer, right, or however it was phrased. Right. Because that, me talking about things that are going on, you want to call them conspiracy. I didn't hear what the judge say because she wasn't specific. She just generally said conspiracies. I'd like to know what Judge Diana Valles Harris thinks that I talk about that's a conspiracy that's not already been proven in fact. I'd like to just know what the fuck she's talking about. But judges don't answer questions, so they can just do whatever they want, and I think they have full immunity to do so. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence. So yeah, they need to, get their shit shut the fuck down. Like right in their face, these are the rights, you're abusing our rights and fuck you. And that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. I argued my case to the appeals court, I think pretty straightforward. I haven't seen my son. Let me see my kid. It's a violation of our 14th Amendment right. Um, and they have an obligation to intervene. And if they don't do the right thing, then I get to go to the SJC, and I forget what that stands for. I'd be lying if I told you what I thought. I'm not sure 100%, but I think it's probably something like Supreme Justice Court, maybe Superior Court Justice. Be my guess, but I don't know. But where I was going with that is I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know what the right things to do are. I personally am taking the pro se and representing myself route. That's what I'm comfortable with. I have no interest in spending money on an attorney. And check this shit out. So, like I said, the appeals paperwork is strict and rigid, and you have to follow rules for submission. And I kept reading it over and over, and I'm like, man, do I need to include this? Do I need to include that? It's not clear. I'm checking with AI. AI is sending me in circles, and I feel like just not, not helpful at all. So I called around to like a bunch of lawyers' offices to try to get someone to proofread my packets before I send them out, just to make sure that I have all the required components and it doesn't get rejected upon arrival. No lawyers seem to want to do this. I was referred to the Hampton Bar Association, which is the county where my case is out of, and they didn't have anybody, right? So the local bar association or county bar association didn't have anyone. Worcester County Bar Association didn't have anyone. Both bar associations recommended me to the Massachusetts Bar Association. Okay, so the Massachusetts Bar Association, the best thing that they could tell me was legal aid, which I called, and I guess legal aid, from what I didn't talk to anyone, but from the prompts, the options on the recorded message sounded like you had to be local in the area. I could have that wrong. Could be wrong. But I was blown away that nobody could refer a lawyer who would review paperwork prior to submission. And let's just be real about probably why that is. And I did ask someone, and the response that I got was like, I think it was probably a paralegal. She told me lawyers like to kind of pick up a case and do the whole case, right? They don't want to come in the middle, just do a part and leave. Okay. Do you think there's any merit in the theory that these lawyers don't want to get involved because it's counter to their business model or business operation? Like, why are they going to help someone who's a lay person win their case for a couple $100 reviewing documents when they could collect 20 or 30 or 50 or 100,000 from somebody to pay, to receive money to represent them the entire case. I don't know. I thought it was peculiar. Uh, one lawyer told me, she's like, yeah, I'm really busy, but if you can't find someone by next week, call me back. And when you're appealing, when you're doing a single justice appeal from the lower court in Massachusetts, you're on the clock. I imagine most other states are probably the same way, but you got 30 days from the last order to get that in. 30 days, 4:30 p.m. on that 30th day, all your submissions have to be in. So yeah, I'm more comfortable representing myself. I don't think that anyone is going to have mine or my son's best interests in mind. I don't think anyone's going to act on our behalf. I know that the courts haven't so far. And, the one attorney that I did bring in for about a week uh, didn't do anything. But she made an astute observation that it looks like I'm getting railroaded. So thanks for your input there. Like, so glad you got $1,500 from my brother to tell me that I'm getting railroaded. That was very insightful. Did you go to 7 years of law school to make those expert opinions? So yeah, I don't know. Again, not a lawyer, not advice. I don't know what I'm doing, but I definitely am more comfortable representing myself. And anyone going through the family courts, keep going, keep fighting. We're getting very loud, and it's very encouraging. Like the people that are, going out to the courts to support and go to the hearings and listen to other people's hearings so that we have accountability because they don't like us to film in the courtrooms. I wonder why that is. And then the people that are going outside the courts and with the megaphones and using their voice and free speech to educate people what's going on because it's wrong what they're doing to children. I mean, listen, guys, it's not that difficult, okay? If we have a system in place that is disrupting and abusing the children, like the future from now is going to get exponentially worse, right? And look at where we're at right now, right? We didn't do our jobs as responsible adults, and look at where the fuck we're at. We got a bunch of pedophiles running the world and zero accountability because we didn't stand up for our rights and we didn't say, hey, this is wrong. We mocked the people who told us what was going on, right? We didn't listen to it. And now here we are. Okay. And if we continue these patterns and these cycles, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Don't get me started on the technology and what they're doing with the kids in technology. So it's a nice day. Keep going. There's a forensic psychiatrist that I'm looking forward to speaking with, right? Who evaluated me, who was hired by the mother, right, to give this opinion, a damning opinion to me, so that basically on paper it looks like I should never see my kid, not without like serious supervision of the, I don't know, the state and the aliens, and like everyone should probably watch me when I'm with my kid based on what this psychiatrist wrote. You know what I mean? She said that I was paranoid. She said that that the pot is likely contributing to my paranoia, and that I should have continued probably medical evaluations and potentially be put on drugs. She wants to put me on some pharmaceutical drugs. So Dr. Stephanie Hansen, one, well, I'll save that for a trial. I'm not even going to say that. I'm just going to save that for when you're in the court. But what you did was wrong. You're fucked up. And you're going to have to answer for the shit that you said about me on paper. And I was very transparent with you about which programs to look into, and you didn't do your homework about any of it. So you're going to have a hard time backing up what you lied about me on paper about. Anyway, what you did was wrong. You're a piece of shit. And you're going to have to answer for it in court if you show up, right? I don't know. I should probably look into that. Do I have to subpoena her? Anyway, it's all corrupt. Get fucked for all the people who are, one, watching these videos who are feds, and two, participating and the alienation of children from parents, you're all pieces of shit. The shrinks, the lawyers, the judges. Oh yeah, where'd the defense's lawyer go? Just dipped out, right? Oh yeah, I'm gonna withdraw. We had a breakdown in our relationship. Really? You guys are crushing this case right now. You got me dead to rights on a faulty fucking health evaluation, and me saying mean shit to you in emails. Why you dip it out, right? This should be a slam dunk for you, but you're leaving. I wonder why. So keep going. The truth always comes out, and they should have just left us alone. They really should have just left the kids alone.